Hi, my name is Bali Nelson, and I've been involved in international education for over 35 years, first as an exchange student in France and later as an English instructor, teacher trainer, and consultant working with nonprofits, immigrants, international students, diplomats, and foreign-born professionals in a variety of different settings. To me, courage means remaining true to my ethical and moral values and always standing up for justice for myself and others, despite the risk of retaliation that often comes with challenging wealthy entrenched interests and speaking truth to power. As a person with multiple congenital and acquired disabilities who was orphaned as a young woman, I have a lifetime of experience navigating barriers to higher education, healthcare, meaningful work, and legal representation. During my years in the workforce, I always tried to the best of my ability to advocate for the fair treatment, not just of myself, but also of all of my coworkers and clients or students, sometimes with some success. But in one instance, my advocacy and standing up to exploitation and disparate treatment resulted in the abrupt termination of my position in the middle of a major health crisis instead of the reforms and improved work environment that I had hoped for. In that situation, I avoided becoming homeless and experiencing disruption to my ongoing medical treatment only due to a successful GoFundMe campaign organized by a former student. After years of trying unsuccessfully to get the workplace issues that I had experienced, witnessed, and repeatedly pointed out resolved, first internally with the business owners and then externally through complaints to government regulatory agencies, I had nearly given up all hope of ever achieving any measure of justice when Open Door Legal, a San Francisco nonprofit, expanded into my service area and negotiated a settlement for the one remaining legal claim I still had by that time. My suit was the sixth that I know of filed in San Francisco County for similar claims in the industry involved, and current employees have informed me that they now enjoy the fair wages, benefits, and improved working conditions that I and all the other plaintiffs had fought for. This knowledge gives me some solace that my decades-long fight for workplace justice alongside others was not in vain, and that all my efforts eventually contributed to achieving the desired effects, though not for me personally. In accepting that settlement, I flatly refused to sign the type of non-disclosure agreement that has silenced so many victims of long-term, very well-documented cases of exploitation, abuse, disparate treatment, and retaliation. I now use my story to speak out about the difficulties that non-unionized at-will employees, which is what I once was, have in accessing legal representation, enforcing our rights, or getting government regulators to adequately investigate even the best documented violations. In service to that cause, I've participated in fundraising for Open Door Legal, and earlier this year, I helped them get a $500,000 grant to assist future clients by sharing my personal story of injustice with a potential donor. I've also participated in the public education and advocacy work of Whistleblowers of America, a nonprofit that provides peer support to whistleblowers and educates the public about the weaknesses in the so-called whistleblower protections, and the severe and long-lasting psychosocial impact of whistleblower retaliation. I now draw on my own experience to offer peer support to fellow whistleblowers who develop trauma and stressor-related disorders, like the one which apparently contributed to the tragic suicide of Boeing whistleblower John Burnett last year. Using my own experience to advocate for improved legal and psychosocial support for future whistleblowers is one way that I've tried to turn my personal trauma into a force for good. In that vein, as you return to your home countries after completing your fellowship, I have two pieces of advice for you and one wish for your future. My first piece of advice is this: never let someone else's mistreatment of you or stereotypical view of your limitations make you doubt yourself or make you feel less than in any way. All of us as human beings are deserving of respect and equitable treatment. Never let someone else's failure to honor that principle stop you from pursuing your dreams. Secondly, never give up, never abandon a just cause, never stop fighting for a more equitable world. In the healthcare field, I'm sure you're aware of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s comment that injustice in access to healthcare is the most inhumane of all the many forms of inequality. Dr. King also reminded us that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. We may lose individual battles in our fight for equity, but if we continue working together with others to bend that arc and create a more just and inclusive world, our collective efforts will eventually succeed. Finally, a wish. I wish all of you the happy, healthy, prosperous, and fulfilling futures you deserve. But in achieving your dreams, I hope that you will use your elite education and international perspective in the service of the common global good. Now more than ever, we need your voice and your contributions. All your life, your education is likely to open doors for you that are close to others. I hope you will always use your privilege to amplify the voices of the disenfranchised and work for greater equity in healthcare through policy work, pro bono work, or supporting nonprofits. Diseases do not respect international borders, and we need people like you who are committed to international cooperation on health and other issues of global concern. As Atlantic Fellows, I trust that you have the ability to make significant contributions to shared international efforts, and I trust that you will. Congratulations on your achievement, and best wishes in all of your future plans.